You see, financial freedom, passive income, puts you in a different category to the one income that we are conditioned to believe that we should have. I will show you how you can do that, because it's all about what's up here. Hi, it's Naomi Sesay again, and I'm doing something different, and I want to come back at you today because I had a message. Somebody DM'd me and they asked me a question, and I thought before I actually signed off for today that I was going to answer that question. And the question was, how did you get your passive income and what was it? And it's a great question because I didn't know anything about passive income when I left school. I thought, like everyone else, that you get a job, you get an education in order to get a job, and you stay at that job for a certain amount of time, and then you move on. I was in television. I'm a television producer and director, and I was working in a particular company. I won't mention it right now. And I was working for them, and I knew that they were getting huge amounts of money. I mean, huge amounts of money coming in from telephone calls and all sorts of things. And they were paying us producers a minuscule amount of wages. So I was selling my time for a small amount of money, and I wasn't even recognized. Being black and female, I wasn't recognized in the television world at that time, and I hit a very hard bang ceiling. And I thought enough was enough. I said to myself, I'm worth more than this. My time's worth more than this. My experience and my skills and my talent is worth far more than what I'm getting from this company, who gave me a small amount of money. I mean, it wasn't small comparison to other jobs, but still in comparison to what they were getting, yes, it was a small amount. And that's what they thought I was worth. That's not what I thought I was worth. So I decided to learn something different, to do something different. And it just so happened that a friend of mine gave me a book about property investing. And I was just like, whoa, I didn't realize that you can actually go to sleep and make money. So I decided that I was going to spend a huge amount of money, 16,000 to be exact, to learn how to create property, to learn how to invest in property. Now, people would say to me, you're mad. Why would you pay £16,000 when you can get all of that information free on the internet? My answer was, yes, I can get it free on the internet, but you know what? That's going to take me time. And then there's trial and error because I don't know what I'm doing. And then I'm going to have to find somewhere to leverage the money in order to do the property investment, the deposit. And if I went wrong, who do I ask? I have to go and find a mentor. I have to go, all these things. I didn't have that time. As I realized in my television job, that time was my most precious asset. I wanted to become financially free so that I can do the things that I wanted to do in my life, the things I loved doing in my life. So I took that calculated risk, and it was very much calculated. And I spent the 16,000, and I learned how to create a property portfolio. Spooling on now, 15 years after that, I am now financially free because of that passive income and because I was taught how to do it. Now, obviously, when I look at property, it's not my thing right now. I mean, it's great, but it's not what I was so desired to get. My time is more important to me than anything else because it allows me to actually do the things that I know that I can do in my power to change a world, to change my world. I'm not interested in changing the whole world and being out there and saying I change. I'm interested in changing my world. And my world consists of my family, my environment, my community, my lifestyle, and the people who are affected around me. So I went ahead and did that. So the question was, what did you do, which was property investing, and How did you go about doing it? So I went and I learned about it. But here's the thing. In this year of COVID, I didn't actually appreciate what it was like to be financially free because I always kept on working. I liked, you know, had so many different types of organizations that I built up, or companies that I built up, that I just kept on working anyway and allowed the passive income just to kind of like supplement whatever I was doing. So I didn't actually appreciate what it really meant, even though technically I knew what I meant. And financial freedom is an actual technical formula that anyone can do. Until COVID, I caught COVID-19, the coronavirus. So did my 82-year-old mother who has dementia. So did my 2 sons that you saw in another video. And we were all fairly ill, but we're quite fit, so we got over it really quickly. But my mother had a hard time kicking that. So even though she's fine right now, we all rallied around her and we all looked after her, and she's pulled through, she's great right now. But I suddenly realized something. I realized that whilst everyone was being furloughed or being laid off or couldn't work and their income was dwindling, and I knew that the quantitative easement was happening in the government where they were throwing money into the economy in order to buffer it up, that each time they do that, the value of our pound goes down, so we're actually poorer. I didn't have to worry about that because I was invested. I was invested in lots of different things, not just property. And I was financially free. And I carried on my life as though only the coronavirus was affecting me, not my finances. So this is why it was so important for me this year and over this summer to show other people how to create passive income and multiple streams of income, and how to protect that income so that when things like coronavirus comes along, you're not wobbled in the way some other people are. The certainty that you have is strong, that you don't have to move around feeling anxious and having so much kind of like pressure in order to keep your lifestyle up, in order to keep your health up. I also realized, because obviously I'm an African British woman, and hearing that disproportionately that it was the Afro-Caribbeans and diverse populations were being affected by the coronavirus, that it was because they only had one income and they had to go and have to that job. They had to be on the front line. They had to be key workers because they had no other income. Supposing they had other income, supposing they had different streams coming through, and then they realized they didn't have to go to that job, even though they may love it, because they were safe. Because they were safe. You see, financial freedom, passive income, puts you in a different category to the one income that we are conditioned to believe that we should have, just that one income. That's why so many people are having side hustles right now, because they're now feeling, I can't just rely on that one income. I think it's outrageous that the government in our schooling system doesn't teach young people how to become wealth creators, how to create passive income, because if it did, the economy would be much more stable than it is right now. The economy would be so much more robust that the government wouldn't have to inject so much money, stimulus packages, in order to prop it up, because people will be creating their own income individually, for their family, for their community. Now, I know this sounds a little bit of a rant right now, but I'm so passionate about it that it kind of enrages me that we don't think that way. So my mission right now is to actually get people to move to that way of thinking. Even if you don't want to create passive income, even if you think you don't have the skill sets or the talent or the expertise, I will show you how you can do that. Because it's all about what's up here. And it's not intelligence, it's a belief system. Yet again, it comes down to your hard wiring. It comes down to the information that's been inputted into your brain and how you create that as a habit to do over and over and over again, which gets you to a particular outcome. So I just want to thank that person for actually asking me what was my first passive income stream, which was property, and where did it get me to? Financial freedom. But it wasn't property that got me to the lifestyle that I have right now. So what I want to say to you, like always, tomorrow, in fact, forget tomorrow, right now, after you watch this video, do something different.